You know those moments when you wake up and you just know it's going to be one of those days? Yeah, today was one of those days. My name's Zach, and I've been the Chief Science Officer on the starship Intrepid for the past 2 years. Just as I was about to enjoy my first cup of space coffee, the ship's alarm blared through the intercom. All hands, prepare for immediate jump. Coordinates received from Earth Command. Great, I muttered. Can't even enjoy a caffeine buzz before the universe needs saving. I grabbed my comm and buzzed the bridge. Captain, what's going on? Zach, we've got an urgent mission. Pack your gear and get to the conference room. When your captain tells you to pack your gear, you know it's serious. I sighed, dumped my coffee and headed to the Armory. After strapping on my standard-issue blaster and grabbing my trusty datapad, I made my way to the conference room, mentally preparing myself for whatever cosmic nonsense awaited us. As I entered, I noticed the rest of the team gathered around a holographic display. The captain, a no-nonsense woman named Captain Rains, looked as stern as ever. "All right, folks," she began. "We've received intel about an ancient alien civilization's ruins discovered on a planet in the Gorgon System. Earth Command wants us to investigate and secure any technology or artifacts before anyone else does." "Ancient aliens, huh?" I smirked. "What could possibly go wrong?" Rains shot me a glare that could melt titanium. "Zach, I need you to take this seriously. We've got competition out there, and it's not just other humans. We're talking about a potential encounter with the Varloth." The mention of the Varloth made everyone sit up a little straighter. These guys were like space ninjas, crossed with ruthless corporate executives. Not exactly the type you want to share a neighborhood with. "All right," I said, trying to sound more serious. "Let's get moving then. Adventure awaits and all that jazz." We jumped into hyperspace, heading straight for the Gorgon System. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a roller coaster of an adventure. We dropped out of hyperspace with the subtlety of a brick through a window. The planet, designated Gorgon IV, loomed large and foreboding on the view screen. It was a desolate, rocky world with a dull, reddish hue. Not exactly prime vacation real estate, but hey, we weren't here for the scenery. The shuttle ride down was bumpy, thanks to the planet's erratic atmosphere. I sat next to our pilot, Jenkins, who was humming some old Earth tune, completely unfazed by the turbulence. "Jenkins, do you ever get nervous?" I asked, gripping my seat as we hit another pocket of turbulence. "Only when I run out of gum," he replied with a grin, popping another stick into his mouth. We landed with a thud, and the hatch opened to reveal the desolate landscape. Rocks, dust, and more rocks. The ruins we were here for were a few clicks away, so we set off on foot, our boots crunching on the gravelly surface. "Reminds me of a bad camping trip," I quipped to no one in particular. "Minus the s'mores." As we approached the ruins, the sheer scale of the ancient structures became apparent. Massive stone edifices, partially buried in the ground, loomed over us. Strange, alien symbols adorned the walls, glowing faintly with an eerie light. "All right, team," Rains said, taking charge. "Spread out and start scanning. Zach, you're with me." We moved deeper into the ruins, our scanners beeping and whirring. I found myself in a large chamber, filled with what looked like alien machinery. It was like stumbling into a lost city, only way cooler and with more potential for disaster. "These readings are off the charts," I muttered, tapping my datapad. "This place is a gold mine." Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. The machinery around us sprang to life, lights flashing and panels lighting up. Captain," I said, backing away slowly. "I think we might have activated something." "Everyone back to the shuttle," Rains ordered. We sprinted back to the shuttle, the hum growing louder and more ominous. As we strapped in, Jenkins powered up the engines. "What's the rush?" he asked, oblivious to the chaos around him. "Just fly, Jenkins," I shouted. The shuttle lifted off and we rocketed away from the ruins. Behind us, the ground shook and a massive energy pulse shot up into the sky, narrowly missing us. "Well," I said, catching my breath, "that was fun. Let's never do it again." But deep down, I knew this was just the start of our troubles. Back on the Intrepid, we analysed the data we'd collected. The energy readings from the ruins were unlike anything we'd ever seen. It was clear this ancient civilization had access to some serious tech. As we were deep in our analysis, An incoming transmission alert flashed on the console. Jenkins, ever the tech wizard, patched it through. The holographic display lit up with the image of a Varloth ambassador, sleek and intimidating in their dark uniform. "Humans," the Varloth spoke in their usual, clipped manner. "It seems we have a mutual interest in the ruins of Gorgon IV." I glanced at Rains, who nodded for me to handle this. "Yeah, about that. What's your angle, Varloth? Last I checked, you guys weren't exactly known for playing nice." The Varloth tilted their head, a gesture that probably meant something between a nod and a shrug. "We seek knowledge, much like yourselves. There is much to be gained from these ruins. Cooperation would be beneficial." "Cooperation?" I raised an eyebrow. "You're suggesting a team-up? I don't know if you've noticed, but our species don't exactly have a history of holding hands and singing Kumbaya." The ambassador's expression remained unreadable. "True. However, necessity often breeds unusual alliances. We propose an exchange of information. Our scans indicate a structure deep within the ruins that neither of us can access alone." Rains stepped forward. "And what guarantee do we have that you won't just stab us in the back once you get what you want?" The Varloth ambassador's eyes flickered with a hint of amusement. "Trust is a rare commodity, but consider this. If we wanted you dead, we wouldn't be negotiating." It wasn't exactly a comforting thought, but they had a point. The ruins were too valuable to pass up, and if working with the Varloth was the only way to unlock their secrets, we didn't have much choice. "All right," I said, crossing my arms. "We'll play nice, but the first sign of betrayal, and this alliance is over. Understood?" The ambassador gave a curt nod. "Understood. We will transmit our data to your ship. Let us meet at the ruins tomorrow." The transmission ended, and I turned to Rains. "Well, this should be interesting." "Interesting is one word for it," she replied. "Just keep an eye on them, Zach. I don't trust those snake-like bastards." "Don't worry, Captain. I've got this." But in the back of my mind, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were diving headfirst into a very dangerous game. The next day, we rendezvoused with the Varloth at the ruins. Their ship was sleek and menacing, a sharp contrast to our blocky, utilitarian design. As we disembarked, we were greeted by a small contingent of Varloth, led by the ambassador we'd spoken to. "Welcome," they said, with a hint of irony. "Shall we proceed?" "After you," I replied, waving them forward. If they were going to spring a trap, I preferred them to be the ones to trigger it first. We descended into the ruins, following the path we had mapped out the day before. The deeper we went, the more alien the architecture became. Strange symbols and intricate carvings lined the walls, glowing with that same eerie light. Our combined scans led us to a large sealed door. It was made of an unknown material, smooth and cold to the touch. The Varloth ambassador approached it, producing a small device from their belt. "This door requires a dual activation," they explained. "Your technology and ours must work in tandem to unlock it." I glanced at my datapad, which was already analyzing the door. "Looks like we need to synchronize our systems. Jenkins, you good to go?" Jenkins nodded, setting up his gear. "Ready when you are, boss." As we worked together, the Varloth provided their own input. It was a strange experience, like trying to build a Lego set with someone who spoke a different language, but piece by piece, we made progress. Finally, the door began to hum, its surface lighting up with intricate patterns. With a loud hiss, it slid open, revealing a chamber filled with advanced machinery and consoles. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, upon which rested a strange crystalline artifact. The ambassador stepped forward, eyes fixed on the artifact. "This is what we seek, the Heart of Gorgon, a key to their technological marvels." Before we could react, the chamber's defenses activated. Energy beams and drones sprang to life, targeting us with deadly precision. "Well, this escalated quickly," I muttered, drawing my blaster. "Everyone, take cover." We dove behind the consoles as the drones opened fire. It was a chaotic mess of energy blasts and flying debris. The Varloth fought with impressive efficiency, their weapons slicing through the drones with ease. "Jenkins, can you shut these things down?" I yelled over the noise. "Working on it," he replied, fingers screaming over his console. As we held off the drones, Jenkins managed to hack into the system, shutting down the defenses. The room fell silent, save for the hum of the ancient machinery. "Nice work, Jenkins," I said, catching my breath. The ambassador approached the pedestal, carefully lifting the artifact. "We have what we came for. Now let us leave this place." "Not so fast," I said, stepping forward. "We agreed to share the information. Hand it over." The ambassador's eyes narrowed, but they handed me a small data crystal. "As agreed, let us hope this alliance remains fruitful." With the artifact secured, we made our way back to the surface. The alliance with the Varloth was uneasy at best, but for now, we had what we needed. As we returned to our ship, I couldn't help but wonder what other secrets the cosmos held, waiting for us to uncover. Back on the Intrepid, we analysed the data crystal. The information contained within was staggering: advanced technology, star maps, and the history of the ancient civilization known as the Gorgons. Their technological prowess was far beyond anything we had ever encountered. "These guys were light years ahead of us," I marvelled. "If we can understand and replicate even a fraction of this tech, it could change everything." Rains nodded, equally impressed. "We need to get this back to Earth Command. This is the kind of breakthrough they've been dreaming of." As we prepared for the journey home, I couldn't help but think about the Varloth. Our uneasy alliance had paid off, but I knew it was far from over. The Varloth were not the kind to let such valuable information slip through their fingers easily. "Captain," I said, approaching Rains, "what do you think the Varloth will do now?" She sighed, leaning back in her chair. "They'll be watching us, waiting for an opportunity. But for now, we have the upper hand. Let's make the most of it." With the artifact and data secured, we set a course for Earth. As we jumped into hyperspace, I allowed myself a moment of reflection. We had faced danger, forged an unlikely alliance, and uncovered secrets that could reshape our understanding of the universe. "Hey, Zach," Jenkins called from the pilot's seat. "Think we'll get a medal for this?" I laughed. "A medal? Hell, I'd settle for a decent cup of coffee." For now, we had earned a moment of peace, but I knew it wouldn't last. In the depths of space, adventure always awaits, just beyond the next star. We arrived back at Earth Command with the artifact and data in tow. The briefing room was packed with high-ranking officials and scientists, all eager to get their hands on the spoils of our adventure. I stood in front of the room, the crystalline artifact resting on the table beside me. "Thank you for coming," began Admiral Collins, the head of Earth Command. "Zach, why don't you brief us on what you found?" I cleared my throat, feeling a mix of excitement and exhaustion. This artifact, which the Varloth called the Heart of Gorgon, contains advanced technology and information about the ancient Gorgon civilization. Their tech is centuries ahead of ours. We believe it holds the key to unlocking new energy sources, faster than light travel, and more. The room buzzed with murmurs of excitement. I could see the scientists practically salivating over the prospect of dissecting the artifact. "But there's a catch," I continued, raising my hand for silence. "The Varloth also have this information. We struck a temporary alliance to retrieve it, but there's no telling how long that will last." Admiral Collins nodded, his expression serious. "We expected as much. The Varloth are not known for their cooperative spirit. We'll need to be on high alert." As the meeting concluded, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned to see Dr. Savannah Vasquez, one of Earth Command's top scientists and, incidentally, an old friend. "Zach," she said, smiling, "great work out there. I can't wait to get my hands on this artifact." "Savannah, if anyone can figure it out, it's you," I replied, returning her smile. "Just be careful. This thing is like a cosmic Pandora's box." "We'll take every precaution," she assured me, "but imagine the possibilities." A few weeks later, as we were beginning to make sense of the Gorgon data, we received an urgent transmission from Earth Command. I was in the middle of a sparring session in the gym when the call came through. "Zach, get to the bridge, now!" I didn't waste any time. Panting and sweating, I dashed to the bridge where Captain Rains was already waiting, her expression grim. "What's going on?" I asked, trying to catch my breath. "We've detected a massive Varloth fleet heading towards Earth," she said. "They're not hiding their intentions." "Well, that's not good. What's their play?" "They want the artifact," Rains replied, "and they're willing to go to war for it." My mind raced. The Varloth must have realized the true potential of the Gorgon technology. They weren't going to let us keep it without a fight. Admiral Collins has ordered all available ships to intercept the fleet, Rains continued. We're heading out to join the defense. As the Intrepid powered up for battle, I couldn't help but feel a surge of adrenaline. We had faced danger before, but this was different. This was a full-scale assault on our home. Jenkins, how's our firepower? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Locked and loaded, he replied, a rare seriousness in his tone. We're ready to give those Varloth a run for their money. We jumped into hyperspace, heading straight for the Varloth fleet. As we dropped out of warp, the sight before us was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Dozens of Varloth warships, sleek and deadly, were arrayed against our hastily assembled defense fleet. All hands, prepare for combat, Rains ordered. This is it, people. Let's show them what we're made of. The battle that followed was chaotic and brutal. Energy beams and missiles streaked through the void, ships exploded in brilliant flashes, and the comm channels were filled with the sounds of combat. Amid the chaos, our ship took a direct hit, and alarms blared throughout the bridge. Shields down to 30%, Jenkins shouted. We can't take much more of this. Focus all fire on that lead cruiser, Rains commanded. We need to break their formation. As our weapons hammered the Varloth ship, I received an incoming transmission. It was the Varloth ambassador, their face filling the screen. Humans, this is your last chance. Surrender the artifact, and we will spare your planet. I glanced at Rains, who shook her head. Not a chance, I replied. You'll have to pry it from our cold, dead hands. So be it, the ambassador said, their eyes narrowing. The Varloth ships intensified their assault, but we weren't about to give up. With a coordinated strike, we managed to disable their lead cruiser, causing a ripple effect of confusion among their ranks. Now's our chance, Rains shouted. Press the attack! As we pushed forward, something unexpected happened. A new fleet of ships emerged from hyperspace, firing on the Varloth. I recognized the design instantly. The Gorgon ships, I breathed, but how? Savannah's voice crackled over the comm. Zach, we managed to activate some of the Gorgon defense systems. They're automated, but they recognize the Varloth as a threat. With the Gorgon ships joining the fray, the tide of battle turned in our favor. The Varloth, caught off guard, began to retreat. We did it, I whispered, barely believing it. As the last of the Varloth ships fled, a cheer erupted across the bridge. We had defended Earth, but more importantly, we had gained powerful new allies in the form of the Gorgon technology. Back on Earth, the mood was jubilant. We had faced down the Varloth and come out on top, thanks to the Gorgon tech and a little bit of human ingenuity. But as I sat in the quiet of my quarters, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The artifact, the Heart of Gorgon, had opened up a world of possibilities, but it also brought new dangers. The Varloth wouldn't give up easily, and there were undoubtedly other threats lurking in the cosmos. A soft chime interrupted my thoughts. It was a message from Savannah. Hey, Zach, just wanted to say thanks for everything. We've only scratched the surface of what the Gorgon tech can do. Who knows what else we'll discover? I smiled, typing a quick reply. The adventure's just beginning. Let's see where it takes us. As I sent the message, I felt a renewed sense of purpose. The universe was vast and filled with mysteries, but as long as we faced them together, I knew we could handle anything. As the stars streaked past us, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The universe was vast, filled with mysteries and dangers we couldn't even begin to comprehend. But as long as we faced them together, I knew we could handle whatever came our way. For now we had earned a moment of peace, but I was ready for whatever came next. Adventure always awaits, just beyond the next star, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way.